You're just one man.
Now we're two.
Welcome again to everybody. We appreciate you joining us here at the Samsung Experience. This is a special moment for us as we introduce our new 830 series, celebrate the release of our new 830 series SSD drives. We believe this product is really a transformative product. It has the ability to literally increase the performance of any PC and dramatically improve the overall performance. But let me give you a little bit of context of why Samsung believes that the SSD drive is so important to us. So first off, it's a very meaningful business. We're clearly the leading supplier in the world of SSD drives. In addition, we're the #1 market share of flash memory. We have been for over 19 years and over 40% market share. And I think the other thing that's very important driving demand for the SSD is reliability and durability. Obviously, no moving parts. So really, it's changing the direction of the industry for the better. So for the last year, our acclaimed 470 series set the foundation for the consumer aftermarket. And now as we introduce the 830 series SATA 3 drives, we're raising the performance bar to even higher levels than ever before. Now the market for SSD drives is growing dramatically. We're seeing, as you can see, dramatic growth. Gartner estimates by the end of 2011, over 21 million drives will be introduced in the marketplace worldwide, which is more than double the level over 2010. So what's driving the demand for SSD drives and the PC transformation? So first off is an improved user experience. It's much easier to upgrade your PC using SSD drives than it has been in the past. Proven reliability and durability, as I said, are key attributes of why the consumer is looking to step up. Higher performance is all why we're here, and it's why the consumer is really looking to step up to SSD drive. And of course, the better price to capacity ratios of affordability is another key driver of demand for the marketplace. So at the intersection of these key areas, these key 4 attributes that are driving demand, is really where the 830 series Samsung SSD drives reside. So first thing you'll notice about the SSD drive is it's an absolutely beautiful product. So Samsung is known for astounding design, and we've employed that DNA and that technique here in this category as well. It's kind of like, you know, the engine in a high-performance car. Even though this is going to go inside a PC, desktop, or laptop, clearly there's a sense of satisfaction in purchase when consumers buy this. There's pride of ownership. We put a lot of effort into talking about the design of our solid-state drives. So now I'd like to show it to you for the first time. This is our new 830 series SSD drive.
Got it back here. But I understand we'll be back later for photo one. Thanks everyone. Let's start with a quick overview of of SSDs. Let's talk about what an SSD is and why it's significant to the PC industry and consumers. Ray, can you help us out with that?
Sure can. So for those who are familiar between standard hard drives and SSDs, the main key difference is that solid-state hard drives are flash-based, there's no moving parts, and standard hard drives actually have platters with magnetic arms that read the data. As those drives access data, they have to throttle up and throttle down, throttle up, throttle down constantly. SSDs throttle up one time, they maintain that speed, so by the time you're done loading a game, you don't have to throttle. All the downtime between throttling down is gone, so it actually loads a lot faster than your average hard drive.
Thank you. And we're talking a lot about speed here. Guy, you did a study on speed, on how fast these are and how reliable they are. Can you talk a little bit about the speed difference you noticed between the HDD and the SSDs?
Sure thing, Billy. Lots of D's there. So the categories that we looked at on our team were boot times. So basically, Windows boot, we looked at the boot time from double-clicking on the game to when you got to the start screen, and then we looked at the save game load times as well. So now that you're in the game, you're at the start screen, and now you're loading from the save game. For the initial launch of the game, we saw average speed increases of 21%. For save game load times, so now you're loading from save game, we saw average performance increases of 35%. And the most dramatic one we saw of all, which you saw on that chart earlier, was just booting up your PC to begin with. So for loading on a regular hard drive, that's about 66 seconds. On a Samsung SSD, it's 15 seconds. That's a 77% increase. So for gamers who hate to wait, that'd be kind of perfect.
Gamers don't have patience.
Yeah, all gamers need to wait.
Yeah, and I mean, the cool thing is we're all gamers as well, so it's not just for gaming, it's for everything, but the reality is it's just a system responsiveness. It's an overall, seek time. It's how quickly things, are reacting when you're interacting with files or interacting with the application. It's not just load time, it's a lot of other things as well.
Yeah, it's not just games. The average user, Microsoft Office, Internet Explorer, and all the other apps that we run on a day-to-day basis. One of the things we've noticed is you may not be able to measure the exact time. It's a couple seconds here, a couple seconds there, but overall your PC and Windows is just much more responsive. It's much more competitive.
Yeah. And on the game side, even if it was walk away from your machine, goes into sleep mode, or screensaver, come back, much faster again on the SSD than it was on a regular hard drive.
Sure, and if you're like me and you've got applications that are open in the background, maybe you've got a chat client or something that you're talking to your teammates on a multiplayer game, something like that, you can run those things at the same time and not experience any lag as a result of being able to access that drive. So it's really across the board.
We have some folks watching on Facebook. If everyone out on Facebook wants to submit a question, please click the chat button while you're there. Chris, can you talk a bit about how popular SSDs are? When you're upgrading your computer, you're going to think about RAM, certainly, and video cards, but what about SSDs?
Sure, yeah, I'm really interested in the upgrade market. Maybe Ray can touch a little bit about new PCs and how quickly they're being adopted there. What we see is happening is that this type of technology is really an aspirational technology, and that people are really familiar with it. It's kind of riding that same technology curve we saw on things like multi-core processors or SLI or other types of technologies where people hear about it, they're sort of testing the waters, they're sort of seeing their friends whether they adopt it, and it's kind of one of those technologies that if they're not buying it when they first get their PC, they know that they want it. They know that it's an upgrade path that they can have later on, and we're trying to make it very, very simple for people to be able to come back to it and really think about it as a trade-off versus other kinds of things that you can upgrade on your PC, whether it be installing a new graphics card, upgrading your PC processor, installing more RAM. More and more people, as the capacities go up and the prices go down, more and more people are choosing SSD as the preferred upgrade for their, to improve their PC performance.
Actually, it's funny you mentioned that. With PCs the past couple of years, we've seen the increase in multi-core CPU speeds, graphics cards, memory speeds, everything else just kept speeding up. The hard drive hasn't changed in 10 years.
Right.
SSD is the first major change that the hard drive's actually taken on in recent years, and it actually has a great response in the industry because it's removing one more bottleneck from the situation. So now you're increasing overall system performance, and not just on gaming, as we said earlier, it's just overall system performance.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting because if you think about it, the processor, the DRAM, the graphics, those are all semiconductor-based technologies. And so those were increasing geometrically in terms of performance. Those were growing extremely fast. Whereas hard drives, because of mechanical, density is controlled and the laws of physics, it wasn't increasing as quickly as those semiconductor-based technologies. So by moving to a flash-based technology, you really can start following, Moore's law, and that really portends well for the future, not only in cost but also in density as well as performance. So it's a bright future ahead.